get to these reviews, man. It's been I think I got two in, so they'll bring up. I guess we saw this. Both saw this one.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future. And it's an interesting film. Where we at? June. It came out June 2022. David Cronenberg. We starred Kristen Stewart, Leah Seydoux, Viggo Mortensen, Scott Speedman, and a few others. Those are our main guys for the most part, and a bunch of weird, quirky individuals. But the interesting thing about this film, let's get to the synopsis. As the human species adapts to a synthetic environment, the body undergoes new transformations and mutations, accompanied by his partner, celebrity performance artist Saul Tesner, showcases the metamorphosis of his organs. Meanwhile, a mysterious group tries to use Saul's notoriety to shed light on the next phase of human evolution. And there's some interesting things going on in this film.
Yeah, to put it lightly.
But for me, man, I feel like this is one that had some ideas and a premise, but it just failed to make a case for any of it, or at least put it on the screen in any significant way, man. And also, we know Cronenberg for this body horror aesthetic, and I was kind of hyped. I'm reading reviews that people was walking out during cons, and I'm like, so I had high expectations of what was going on, man. And I mean, I can't really fault any of the actors, man. They did solid jobs for what they had to work with, but I'm just like, what was this, man? But it comes across as this pretentious examination of the human condition, but I'm like, I feel like you had an idea, but which was this concept, and then we're dealing with a society where imagine, all right, let's just say you had a mutilation session, and instead of it being your personal session, it's broadcast to the world. They can come see you, and this guy's apparently gained notoriety for what his body does, and which is still kind of weird. Like I'm like, dude, why is this guy the guy?
And the thing is, from what, because I had to look into it a little deeper. Like before, after I was watching, I had to read this article too. And apparently, the reason why he was like so highly revered is because he was one of the actual like humans that was like evolving at a slower rate, and he could still feel pain. So as the world around him and the people in it, like they're, I
don't think he was feeling pain because
it looked like
he was still
pleasureful.
Yeah,
like he was enjoying it.
That's the interesting aspect of it. We got to explain that. So in this world, they don't feel pain, man. Like when,
and they can't get infections.
When we're introduced to the people, there are people on the street just cutting into each other. Like, this is wild. This looks like
there was one. This chick was like cutting into her fucking this like razor thing. I was like, oh my god, like this is.
Or on the street when they were carving into the one girl's back.
Yeah.
But it's also like there are some interesting things about this film, but ultimately it killed me because I did like how it looked. It looked like we're in the future, but it's teasing us. It doesn't give us too much. All I could tell, I was talking to Cornelius about this. Is like, you notice how you never see any really wide shots. And even on the streets. Yeah. It's closed, it's contained. We only get to see so much, so it's hard to tell what this world really looks like. Is it post-nuclear? Is it? It looks like it's kind of fucked up in a way. And the idea ultimately is that we've polluted the earth so bad that our bodies are starting to adapt to be able to live off the waste, which is an interesting, disturbing scene. The opening that got me. I was like, yo, this is wild. What's going on with this kid? He's chewing a plastic trash bag,
the trash can.
Yeah, but then you get around to why, and like all right. So there's two things going on. You got the subplot of the main character and his performance art, but then the other plot is you've got a group of people who are the next stage of evolution, and they're trying to force the rest of the world to accept that and adapt, and that felt tacked on, dude. It
didn't hit heavy,
because even at the very end, because the black detective dude who doesn't even look like a detective at all in this movie, I was like, who is this dude?
Not at all.
Is he even who he says he is?
Right.
And it always bugs me out on certain movies, like where you gotta explain the ending. And that's what he does at the very end, and it's so anticlimactic. Then the credits come up, and you're just like, man, I wanted to say something so bad. It was probably, I had to get on the train to go see this, dude. So to the theater in Rockville. And dude, it was a good about 10, 11 of us in there.
Yeah.
And that shit ended. I was like, man, I wanted to say, man, that was some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I had the same feeling. It was lackluster. Like you said, when you look at Cronenberg and what we're used to seeing from him, this completely missed the mark. Like I said, it wasn't that the acting was bad. It was just like they worked with what they had. I mean, this you can't sculpt a castle out of Play-Doh. You know what I mean?
There were some. I had a couple of belly laughs, man. Like one of them was when we met the character with the ears. And then my man started dancing. Yo, I was laughing, dude.
Of course, like he's like dancing to techno, and my man got ears all over his body. He's like,
but then the other moment too, though, was when I think homegirl tried to push up on him.
Yeah,
and he's like, man, I don't even know how to do it in the old way.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not good at old sex.
Yeah, because he was like surgery's the new sex, and then she tries to come at him. And then we make out a little bit, and he's like, I don't even know. I'm not.
Like, what?
And I laughed. I really
go
had
get a kitchen
laugh.
knife and cut me up.
Which would have been fine, but it just didn't maintain that tone through the rest of the movie, man. Like if you come off the top and let me know that this is kind of satirical and it's supposed to be dark comedy, but it didn't. It just was jumping all over the place.
And like you said, it's confusing, and the story is not cohesive to what we're seeing, what we're being presented on screen. The dialogue was off. I mean, there was just a lot of like aimless conversation. It's trying to fill us in what's going on, but it's completely missing the mark.
Felt fake deep, dude.
Fake deep. Yes, that's yeah.
I mean,
very
I like
shallow,
Cronenberg, man. But he's getting to be an old man now, and the thing about it is, it felt like a 45 Jordan performance, man. Yeah. That's what it felt like to me, dude. It's like, maybe you got to step away a little bit. Maybe direct someone else's work, man. You know what I'm saying?
or scale back and do some special effects in a film. You don't have to, or something. I don't know. Who knows? But this is not one I would never want to see it again. It's not. I can't recommend it. It's just.
I mean, there's probably some people who are kind of into this darker, because it's got body modification vibes, the scarification, the tattooing, and all that. But
those things, the way that they try to make it seem like that's so heavy. It's such a heavy concept in this film, but it's done so lightly that it still doesn't translate.
Nah, it's wonky, bro.
I don't know. I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, what I mean? It's presenting itself as high art, but it's So what you got, man?
Well, as we switch gears, this film I actually saw a trailer for and didn't ever bring it up because I didn't know what to expect of it, but I'm glad that I did see the trailer and watch it. It's a film called Emergency, and it's brought to us on Amazon Prime, and pretty much it had a slight theatrical release in May 20th. On May 20th, and then it was released to streaming May 27th, give or take. And as far as the synopsis goes, it says, after an epic night of partying, 3 college students return home to find an unconscious woman in their apartment. Worried the police will suspect them of wrongdoing, they try to get the woman to safety without drawing suspicion. Here's the thing. As far as the synopsis goes, that's generally, but it's kind of missing the mark. They weren't out partying. You know what I'm saying? It starts off, we get our 2 main leads, which are played by Donald Elsa Watkins and R.J. Seiler.
Is that the one Danny Brown looking dude?
Yeah.
I like that dude in movies. He's good, man.
Yeah, and R.J. Seiler is his friend, and they're college students, and they're trying to concoct a plan to go to, there's like 7 or 8 major sorority parties all happening at the same night. And they're trying to concoct a plan to go to all 7 of them in the same night. And the other roommate, the third guy, who would pretty much plays the role as like McLovin, because this hits like super bad. For the first half an hour, it's super bad, conceptually, with just different characters in a different element, facing different problems, but and in a different age group. These are college kids, whereas Superbad, they were high school. It hits heavy on the Superbad notes, which like you said, we've seen that time and time again. But nevertheless, the two, they're concocting this plan while the other guy is home playing the video games. They come home to start the epic night of partying, and when they walk into the door of their home, there is an unconscious, underage, white chick passed out drunk on their living room floor. And so they don't even get to start partying. They don't get to start their evening in any way, shape, or form. The roommate that was in the house playing the video games with earphones on, he didn't know that she stumbled in there, and they walk in and she's already there. So which that then also brings to, as I was watching this film, like, well, if y'all wasn't home, then calling the cops shouldn't have been an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not being that dumb.
So, and of course, I
got an alibi.
Yeah, the one friend, and they went to a science lab. They're strolling through college campus.
Movie over.
There is cameras everywhere. So, that's, like I said, movie over. But, in the wonderful world of filmmaking, we have to overlook those things, which then, kind of opens up the can for a quite wild ride. Because this movie, like I said, it's super bad, almost parallel for the first half an hour, and then it switched gears. Once they do have this unconscious chick in their home, and they start trying to do all these things to get, they're trying to get her to help, you know what I'm saying? They're inexperienced, they don't know what's going on, and they keep running into issues along the way. Where then that's where this film, it kind of it really it takes a turn for the social awareness aspect heavy, and I think that it really works for this film. You start seeing how youth are treated by elderly, the difference in how ethnic backgrounds and police injustice, all these things, they all factor in to why these two young men that are trying to do the right thing are just so afraid to do the right thing because they know they'll be treated wrongly for it and looked at wrongly. Like the one friend was like, man, dude, we're screwed, we're guilty before we even start, us going into our own home, having her pass out in here, we're already guilty, so, and I think that this film did a really good job at exemplifying that, and some of it is over enhanced just for this film, but when you take the film movie magic out of it, it is not. This is everyday life that a lot of individuals have to go through these things, and ultimately it shows that profiling, stereotyping, ignorance, bigotry as a whole is unacceptable, and it is wrong 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? There is no exceptions. There is no, this or that. And no, 100% of the time, it is wrong, and the outcome will be bad. Someone will get hurt. Someone will get treated wrongly, and it's not okay. And this film, it did that great. The last thing I'm going to say about it is it's pulling numbers across the board. It's getting a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. This is the one that stuck out to me. It's getting 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, already certified fresh. But then the audience score is 72%, which a lot of times it's 90 to 30, or vice versa. So the fact that they're kind of
I gotta look up the one on this. Who's that last movie we just talked about?
Crimes of the Future. And then Metacritic is getting 71%. So this is one where I strongly suggest people take the time to watch this. I think it might hit heavier to some, lighter to others, whatever the case may be. I know that the younger generation will have a really good time watching this one because it is more relevant to their age group in the things that they're talking about, and a lot of the banter, which was also really cool. The friendship between the two leads. I love the dialogue. There's a lot of laughable moments before the film does take a shift into the more tense things that are going on. So I strongly suggest it. I enjoyed watching it, even though subject matter gets heavy at times. But Emergency on Amazon Prime, check that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do want to point out the crimes of the future. 78% from the critics, who I think are full of ish. 42% from the audience. And that's the audience is the one I look for, dude. The audience score.
And this one they got the popcorn bucket spilt over.
because it's not fresh. It's not fresh, man.
That's stale popcorn.
Let me see.
Oh man,
I did get another one in. And. It's funny because this one has the spilled popcorn too.
Oh man!
But I thought it was alright, man. I watched Sneakerella on Disney, and it's a Cinderella modern day take on that, man. And let me get the details real quick. And so in this film, Elle is an aspiring sneaker designer from Queens who works in a shoe store that once belonged to his late mother. He hides his artistic talent from his stepfather and two mean stepbrothers who constantly thwart any opportunity that comes his way. And just listening to that, it's just Cinderella, like, you know, Cinderella and her evil stepsisters and and the mom and all that. So, but what? So, this is directed by Elvin Ross. I will say it is a musical, so you know, and that was kind of interesting to me, man. Like the setup of it. It worked, dude, because, I mean, I watched In the Heights, saw the West Side Story, and I was entertained by them films. So, you know, and I got on Disney Plus this morning, watched my Obi-Wan episode, I watched Ms. Marvel, and this was staring right in the face, and it was like, I remember the trailer, people were making fun of it when it came out, because it was like, yo, Sneakerella, what are y'all doing? And I actually hit play on it, and dude, I was entertained, man. Like it's a cool story. This kid is a New York kid. You know, he's heavy into sneakers. He's aspiring to design his own sneakers. And he meets this young lady that he's trying to impress. And there's also a sneaker competition for him designing his own shoe.
Oh, okay.
And it's, you know, and it has all those elements and I thought it worked cool, man. It's not like this thing is like blew me out of the water as some, you know, avant-garde experience. But for family entertainment, I think this is solid, man. This is something. If you've got younger kids, you can watch with them and enjoy it, you know, as much as them. I mean, it has enough heart, and like I said, the music performances, those are entertaining. You know, the dancing and just the ideas. It's like New York, but it's also a little bit hyper, as you can see with the scenery. It's almost like a futuristic version of New York, and he has his trials and tribulations. And there's
sure. Does he get his sneak scuffed up?
Yeah. Like he ultimately wins in the end, man. But also this kind of has some cool elements. Like there's this,
that's cool.
There's this strange, because I mean, there's this magical Negro trope in the films, kind of like Green Mile, like that dude, or any other movie. But this one is weird because they got like a magical Puerto Rican, this older dude. But once you get the plot of that, like you realize that, like, because his mom is dead, you know, that's why he's in the state of where he's at in a way, you know, and his stepfather runs the store that his mom used to run. It's a sneaker store. And the dad wants to sell it, but he's trying to keep, you know, the memory of his mom alive. And
doesn't he know his son's love for the sneakers?
He doesn't care. He's evil. He's the evil stepmom. Yes, right? So he's the evil stepfather. Okay. So but I was entertained, dude. Like that's all I can say, man. Like it was solid entertainment, man. It didn't blow me away or nothing, but while it was on, you know, I was like, yo, this is kind of cool, man. You know, at least people are trying some things and putting some stuff out there, man.
It's when you can kick your feet up.
Yeah, and you know, it was kind of cool too, because one of the stores they were trying to get these forums, you know, because they got released, and that's how he met the chick. They all stood in line to get the forums, but he didn't get them. They sold out. But the funny thing is, they were made by this player, and it's a made up player in the movie. And guess who the player is, though? John Sally.
Oh, wow.
Who I love in the movies. He's good.
He's a good actor. He was a good player, too.
Yeah, he was good, dog.
He was a good baller, good actor, yeah.
It's goofy fun,
Hey,
man.
there you go.
That's what it is.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
I can't be mad at it.
No. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
All right, so I'm gonna close this thing out. It's been a while since I saw a solid IFC film to talk about. I'll talk about them even when I don't enjoy them, just because I'm a fan of what they bring to the table. But this one, we brought the trailer up a while back. It's a film called We Need to Do Something. And pretty much it's based on a family that's seeking shelter from a storm. And then they end up getting, they lock themselves in the bathroom because there's a tornado warning. And then somehow a tree falls in front of the door. Like they must have had a nice house because their bathroom had a door in it to get out of the house. Like, I was like, man, I ain't seen too many bathrooms that have two doors and then one in-house, one out-house. But
that's like you drop that killer deuce and you just gotta air that shit out.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta, you can't even walk back in the house. You're like, nah, I gotta vacate the premises. You know what I'm saying? So, but nevertheless, we'll chalk this one up to movie magic as well. But a tree falls in front of the door, so they can't get out of the bathroom. They're stuck in there, and then. As panic sets in, then they also start to realize
there's got to be other ways out of this house, bro.
But at this time, then they find out that there could be
because they
horror or evil and demonic elements involved.
Is that Flea?
No, it's not Flea. It looks like him though. No, it's actually his name is Pat Healy, and he plays the dad. He is by far my favorite character. Because pretty much what I liked about this film, is it plays like a siege film. It plays like a siege film, because you're in this condensed box bathroom. You got 4 people. You got the dad, the mom, the daughter, and the young son. So already that's 3 too many people in the bathroom. No matter how big it is, no matter how many doors it's got. And what they do is right off rip. They show us that this family is not like, everything.
They already look crazy.
Yeah,
They're not, even if the storm is bad enough.
Everything ain't kosher.
They don't look like they straight.
Out the gate, you can tell like there is tension between the mother and the father. There is a significant age difference between the siblings. You know what I'm saying? The dad has big issues. And the mom has other things going on. You can tell like nobody is. It's not like they're all not jumping in the station wagon feeling like what's it the Griswolds. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that. So we get that. It's hitting like this siege film, and then it sets this tone, this tension. Right out the gate. I mean, the credits start rolling, and you're already immersed into this messed up family element that they got going on. And as the film continues to roll on, it starts to give us the story starts to play almost like you get like that Pulp Fiction stuff going on. Like you're seeing what's happening now, and then you get a couple shots from the past, and then what's now, and then the past. So it gives us the explanation without over explaining, without us leaving us with too many questions. So as far as the way it was written and the way the story was presented, I was all the way on board. And then, due to this, it playing like a siege film, it's in this condensed feel, you start to get that claustrophobic feeling. And then we get to watch them, as they descend into madness, you know what I'm saying? Because they set this atmosphere for us. And then, as it continues to move on, like as they're descending into madness, you start to, see that at the same time they have to deal with the elements. When you open the doors, it could be, a bird might get in, or whatever the case. Because the door can crack open about this much, but there's this tree in front of it.
That's some food right there, bro.
Snakes, or God knows what. But then there's also this like I said, this supernatural element going on. And overall, I was very pleased with what I got. There is some nice little visionaries going on. Like you see some of the horror elements as they start to kick in, the way they are translated to us. I thought that was really cool. But they also left a lot to the imagination, which I think normally, when it comes to horror films or films of this nature, I like things a little more concrete. Don't leave it all up to me because, my mind goes all over the place. Give me something to work with, and then I'll kind of stay in that lane. Where this one, it didn't. It left, like I said, it left a lot to the imagination, but without having to keep it too widespread. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I liked it. It worked for this film. On top of the little bits of what we did get on screen for what they wanted to bring for the horror element, it worked all the way around. Like I said, Pat Healy, the dude who played the dad, was by far my favorite character. Like his descent into madness was just, I wasn't supposed to laugh, but it was funny. Like my man, like he had drinking issues, and so once he didn't have nothing else to sip on, everyone started getting on his nerves. He goes to battle with an element, and he feels like he won. And my man chugs a bottle of Listerine, and then at the end he puts it down. He's like, "Yeah!" I was like, "What?"
Yeah, they showed that in the trailer.
So we get to see all those kind of things going on. We get into the third phase. It comes full circle. Well, everything makes sense, even though this whole movie as a whole won't seem to make sense until the credits roll. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it, and it's a short watch, man. It's about an hour and 37 minutes. You know what I mean? It's done well, and I think they probably had a low budget, going into it, but I think it was worth its weight in gold. I would definitely check it out if you come across it. I saw it on Hulu. Actually, Hulu has a lot of IFC movies to offer. So anyone who has a Hulu account, man, check out We Need to Do Something. It's well worth the time.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. But yeah, I think that's it, folks, man. We're gonna wrap this up, man, and catch y'all next time, bro. It's been Monk. Catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram. Follow us, dude. Subscribe to this channel, man. I know you liking this. We also on Anchor at From the Canopy Film Show. But I think on Anchor we'll be under From the Canopy Network. All this From the Canopy stuff is, under there right now. But we'll have the info on the show notes, man, if you want to, subscribe or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on Instagram at Bobby Blockbuster 118. Or you can give me a call at... I'm just messing.
Yeah, that's what's up, folks, man. Hopefully Corny will be with us next time, man. But we out of here, folks. Peace.